I arrived in Leicester 2008, I think. Came to study at De Montfort University doing drama, and I just kind of fell in love with the city as the years grew. Decided to do an MA in drama as well, and then just decided to kind of settle here. You know, I live with my friend and work colleague as well, and I also work here at DMU now as a programs administrator.
I am German, which I always like to point out. Yeah, I was born and raised in Germany, and I came to Leicester coming up to 7.5 years ago now. To come to university. I studied at De Montfort University as well. I'm currently working at De Montfort University as well. And same as Ami, really, I fell in love with the city as soon as I came and just settled here. So when I graduated, I knew that I didn't really want to move away. And I'm quite involved with our local church. So yeah, I'm working and helping out there quite a lot aside from work. So.
I don't think it's anything tangible, really. I think since being in Leicester, I've acquired values, things such as love, family. Those are the things I think I will take, and I will forever say Leicester's a lovely place. It's very welcoming, like we said, strong sense of family and community. That is what I will take, as opposed to it maybe being an object or thing. Yeah.
If I had to make it tangible, I probably would use something like a passport, because depending on where you're traveling, you always have a stamp of where you've been before, and that kind of just symbolizes in general all the things that I've taken away from being in the UK, all the things that I've experienced from being in Germany. It's almost like a book of your life in a way, in a short form.
Tube map? A tube map or an Oyster card.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's one thing about London transport.
I miss German sausages. Yeah, I miss those quite a lot. I miss German chocolate, although I don't actually eat that much chocolate. But yeah, so foods would probably be a major thing. I think art has the opportunity to transcend language barriers, so it can convey culture in a quicker way than a conversation might be able to do. And going back to the question about what signifies a place, I think as Aminata was saying about identity, for me I think it would be the history of a place as well as whatever the prospective future of that place. And I think art has the opportunity to portray that in different ways without necessarily using verbal language, and that way ostracizing people from understanding the identity of a place.
I think it's important for us to be informed of other cultures and how they express their ideas. I think it helps people to connect with one another when we share experiences. I mean, my ideas might look like this, your ideas might look like that, but in order for me to understand you better, your art form will help me to do that. Yeah. And for example, the piece that me and Vanetta looked at, I looked at it and viewed it in one way, but then when Vanetta saw it, she was just like, but that's typical German expressionism. But it helps me understand where she's coming from a lot better, so I think it helps us move forward as a society when we can connect with one another through our cultural experiences. It's not important. It's not right for us to be separated. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, don't think I can add anything to that. It's colourful, which kind of comes as a surprise. I'm not sure why. But yeah, I'm surprised about the colours.
Relationship and friendship. Because when I initially looked at it, I thought they looked like friends. but then again, they also look like maybe mother and child. So yeah, variations of relationship, and the fact that you don't necessarily have to look at someone to know that they're there. You just know that they're there.
Yeah, I'd say a sense of relating as well, because of the closeness of both of them. A sense of connection. So I guess it's a positive and warm emotion. I'm assuming because there are colours in it, I'm assuming it's supposed to be in some way, shape or form a positive sense that should be coming from the picture, so that the artist was relaying some sort of positive emotion through this.
I think it looks also quite playful, quite childlike, something that a child would appreciate and like, accessible. So I feel like a variety of people, ages, could look at it and get something from it. I'll always be there for you. You might not see me, you might not feel me, but I'm always there. Even if I'm in the shadows, I'm always there.
I like that. War.
I think nothing. So how do you get that from that?
I just think when you look at the painting, you can see there's quite a lot of like black thick strokes in the painting. You can see that there's 2 horses, potentially more, in it, and for me it just evokes. It kind of probably also reminds me a little bit of war caricatures that I've seen before in history class. So that's probably why. But I just think, the black, and then in contrast to the other picture that we were looking at just now, where it was quite colourful, quite hopeful, this just looks violent.
So what do you feel like that has got to do in relation to the words / writing or whatever that is?
Well, I can't really read the writing, that's the problem, so I don't really know what's going on with the writing, but if you look at the date, that would have been around the First World War.
I just keep asking why. I really wonder why. Because I think for me, I feel like if you're going to create art, then you should do it because you want to share something with someone. And I wonder what this is sharing. I mean, I kind of get what you mean about the war thing, and that ZN looking type of thing looks like maybe like a scar. But I really do just wonder why.
It would be interesting to know what is written underneath the picture.
I don't like it. I just feel like initially I look at it, it reminds me of what's that word? You know when people came from the Caribbean to the UK?
The Windrush.
Yeah, it looks like that. And it looks like, I just feel like, I don't know, I'm quite annoyed that it's looking at me. Because it seems a bit, I wonder how honest I can be. I just feel like I'm being shown this because I'm black. That's what I honestly feel like, and I don't like that. I feel like it just looks like it was deliberately put in front of me for me to have an opinion on it, and it just looks like, you know, when they were it just looks like they were traveling on a boat from the Caribbean to the UK. And they look like, they don't look like slaves, but they just look like maybe people of some form of authority. I just think that the idea of it, I wonder why someone would have felt to draw that.
I'm shocked. I'm so shocked. For me, I don't know. I feel like this is what I expect from Expressionism. As much as I'm not really into art that much, this is not a surprise to me. Whereas some of the other pictures were. This is just, for me, it's just, Expressionism. Cool. And I kind of feel, for me, it kind of reminds me more of like Bible story times. Jesus and the fisherman in the boat, rather than Windrush or it's just, I don't know. It's just typical Expressionism. I'm fairly neutral towards the picture, so I'm surprised that Ami is so emotionally involved with it.
I think because I'm looking at it from 21st century. I was born and raised in the UK. He just looks like someone wrote it to annoy me. Someone drew it, sorry.
I'm so surprised. I am so neutral towards this picture. It's unbelievable. I'm just surprised. That's probably it.
I've put down the kind of experiences or an emotion kind of. So the first one I put was love, second regret, and the third passion. So they're not necessarily like a physical thing, but more an emotion of a time. I think because it's something that's relatable to many people. So love to me might mean something completely different to someone else, but if, say, it can be shown through a colour or a landscape or whatever, but that's my perception of love, and my hope is that someone can connect to that and hopefully catch what I'm trying to say. And the same with regret. There's many things in life that I regret, many mistakes that I've made, and I feel like if I was to show that, someone could draw upon that and maybe learn something about me, but hopefully learn something about themselves. The same with passion as well.
I think I would like to have the sun, or a representation of the sun in some way, because I just feel, for me, it kind of symbolizes light and life in association with that. And I think that's probably one of the things I'd like to be remembered for, to be someone who brings light and life. And also the warmth of the sun that the sun brings. Another thing would probably be timetables or planners in some way, shape or form. Because the people who know me know that I sometimes go a little bit crazy about to-do lists and timetables and making sure everything is in some way, shape or form set. So that would probably be one thing. And it for me, it symbolizes focus. And that's something I'd like to be remembered for as well. And the third thing I was thinking about, it took a little while, but then I thought actually it's very, like it makes sense for that to be the case. And that's music in some way, shape or form, because I love music. I love sound, and I think for me as well, again, it embodies life in different ways. When artists write songs, again, talking about lenses, they use different lenses to express different emotions, different experiences. So music in some way.